Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this lollipop holder. It's closed with little Velcro dots and it's held inside like that. It was inspired by a swap I received when I went on the Stampin' Up 2017 incentive trip to Thailand last month. The swap that I received was made by Sandy Carlson. This is her swap, and she had done the little Velcro dots there, and inside was her lollipop. She was able to find a far more suitable lollipop than I have. Mine are My Little Pony, and I've had to put it in upside down. But no worries, at least you'll get the idea. So many thanks for the swap, Sandy. It's a great idea. So let's pop that on there. Right, so I'm going to be using black cardstock because I wanted to use some of our Merry Music Designer Series paper that's available in the new catalogue that goes live on the 1st of September. But because this is primarily something for children, I'm going to do whatever stamp that I do there, I'm going to do that on the red background, so it gives it a bit of colour here. Right, so to start off with, I'm going to tell you the card pieces that you're going to need. You'll need a piece of basic black cardstock which measures 2.5 inches by 9 1/8 inches, which is 6.3 by 23.2 centimetres. Then you need some Whisper White cardstock. You need one piece that measures 3.5 inches by 2 3/8 inches, which is 8.9 by 6 centimetres. Then you need another piece which measures 3 5/8 inches by 2 3/8 inches, which is 9.2 by 6 centimetres. Then you need two pieces that measure 5/8 of an inch by 2 3/8 inches. And if you want to do the little bit at the top here, which just takes very, very thin pieces, you will need a piece of Whisper White that measures 3/8 of an inch wide by 2 3/8 inches, which is about 0.5 of a centimetre by 5.7 0.7 of a centimetre by 6 centimetres. And then the Designer Series paper, you need one piece that is 3.5 inches by 2 1/4 inches, which is 8.9 by 5.7 centimetres. Then you'll need another piece that measures 3 and what size did I just give you that? Let's start those two pieces again. You need one piece that's 3 3/8 inches by 2 1/4 inches, which is 8.6 by 15.7. You also need one piece that's 3.5 inches by 2 1/4 inches, which is 8.9 by 5.7. Probably got those two the wrong way round, but not to worry, at least the measurements on that time were correct. And then you need two more pieces that measure 1/2 inch by 2 1/4 inches, which is 1.3 by 5.7. And if you want to do this, if you are doing this little piece up here, whereas that first piece was an 1/8 of an inch, did I say no, 1/4 of an inch, this has got to be 3/16 of an inch, which is about 0.5 centimetres by 5.7. Really and truly, for these little pieces, I think you just need to guess how much they're going to be coming up to. I when I'm doing my cutting on my Whisper White, any offcuts I get within any kind of strips, actually any size, I put them in a little tray that's by the side of my guillotine, which is like this, and it's absolutely full up with little bits like this, so when I need something, like, I can go here and just get some very, very thin pieces. As I say, it's very difficult to give the measurements of those two. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is to score this piece here. Now this is take 2 on this video, so I've already done my scoring. So you just have to pretend that I'm doing it again. Right, so the first score is at 3 5/8 inches, which is 9.2 centimetres. And the next one is at 4 3/8 inches, which is 11.1 centimetres. And then 8.18 inches, which is 20.6 centimetres. And then 8.38 inches, which is 21.2 centimetres. Okay, so that's that. So the first job I'm going to do is to adhere all of these together. I'm using Tombow. You use whatever is your favourite. Because you're using paper, you can use snail, and obviously fast fuse will work brilliantly. You could use tear and tape as well, if that's what you like. Where's my tweezers? I'm no musician, and I know there's a right way and wrong way for this music to go. For these two long pieces and one of these pieces, I'm okay because it's got writing on it, so I can see which way round it's got to go. But the second piece over there doesn't have any writing on it. So before I started videoing, I worked out where that piece came from so that I could find out which way up it should be, and I've drawn little arrows on the back. I mean, I really wouldn't notice, but I have been picked up before when I put some music upside down. The only thing about doing this is to make sure that I actually transfer the arrow to the back of the white piece, which is this one. So I've got a pencil. Where's my arrow? On here. Oh, of course, look on the right side. So that's upright. Okay, so it's got to go up. Keep it this way. Now the trouble is with this piece that I found is, although I can get a sensible gap around either end, side to side it's right close. I'll show you what I mean. There you go, side to side, you can hardly see any white on there at all. There you go. Move that down very slightly. But it's got quite a big gap at the end there. again, it's your choice. Right, so I'm going to do my folding next before I put those onto my lollipop holder. And I should really be using my bone folder, but I haven't brought it over with me. But if you just fold on all 4 score lines, and as always, just make sure that you line up correctly. Right, so this is how it's going to go. Right, so that's a front flap. So with the front flap, let's decide which one I want. I'll have the one with the writing on, so it's got to go like that. And this also applies if you have a any kind of directional pattern. Do pay attention to which ones you're putting where. Well, yeah, sometimes which one you're putting where, but certainly which way up you're putting them. And on this one and the other one, that one, you can choose which one goes where. This one I had to be careful which way the pattern went, because that's the reindeer, and that's going up, up, that's following, and that one's still following round. But if I opened it all up, that would be upside down. But it's what it looks like closed that matters. Right, so I want the small piece first for the front. That's this one. Very, very easy project, this one. And it is a lot quicker if you don't do the layers. But you know me and my layers. Right, so that's got to stay upright. And this is the one by arrow. There we go. Now this one has got to be upright that way. Okay, so that's that. Now I've just got this. Oh, I've stuck that on back to front, haven't I? Oh, what a silly so-and-so. I've gone to all the trouble making sure I've got it up the right way, and I put it on back to front. Oh, well, that's going to have to wait. Oh, well, I'm not going to start the video again. You can all see what a dummy I can be at times. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave it off so that you can see what it looks like without. There you go. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, so we need to punch a hole along this top for our lollipop stick. So we need to measure halfway. And halfway on my one is going to be, excuse me a minute, is going to be 1.25 inches, because I did mine 2.5 inches. Really and truly, you need a punch that is 3/16. The only 3/16 I've got is on my crocodile, but unfortunately the crocodile won't come in this far. So what I do is I use my 1/8 of an inch, and obviously you don't have too much room to mess about here. So I do one, and then I pull it down slightly and go again so that it gets a slight oval. But I'm going to come down again. I don't think that actually took anything off. That's better, that did. It's a bit of an effort to get that in there, but it's fine. Not very much in the centre either, but once the bow is on there, that'll be fine. Right, so next I'm going to do, that's all made, I'm going to do the boy, but I've brought over black cardstock with me, which is not a good idea because I want to do the boy in red. So let me just get some cherry cobbler. And that's going to be far too big. Got to go through the big shot. Oh, that should do. Now this piece, I did write down that it should be about 2.5 inches by 3.25 inches, which is 6.3 by 8.3 centimetres. But I've just had to take a piece out, so that's alright, that's 3 3/8, so that should be fine. So first of all, go over with your embossing buddy. You need Versamark, and I'm going to use this little boy. I do think he's rather cute. And I get my white embossing powder ready. Even though my Versamark pad is really very dirty and I'm using white embossing powder, it doesn't matter because it will, all the Versamark will get covered up. And just make sure that's all really nicely covered with Versamark. Stamp down. We're enjoying a little bit of a heat wave again here, which means I have my ceiling fan whirring above me, and it does mean that my inks dry out quite quickly. I mean, Versamark takes a bit of time to dry, but so I'm just going to put this into my white embossing powder. Okay. Now it's going to be noisy just for a little while I use my heat tool. But bear with me, won't be long. So now I should have moved the chocolate out of the way, shouldn't I? Right, let's bring the big shot over. And just clear a space for it first. Let's see, make sure that you can see what I'm doing. If you want to know about my system of storing my dies, if you check out my video number 273, I explain exactly what I do, where I get my folders from, etc. Right, so I'm just going to die cut this. That looks good. I hope this works. In as much as putting the red on the black. Oh yeah, that's going to look good. I think possibly what it needs something red on the inside. I didn't think about that, but maybe I'll do a tag. In fact, I think that stands out better than putting it on the red box. But yeah, that's good. Right, I'm just going to pop this on with some Tombow. You could use dimensionals if you rather. Come on. There we go. So I'm just bringing this down towards the bottom because of the flap closing. You see? I think that looks good in red. So what I'm going to have to do now is put my little pony in upside down, and I will use one glue dot on the back there to hold it in place. That's it. And then what I'm going to do is just stand that so that this base is on the floor, so that I can see on my desk, not the floor, so I can see how it's standing up. Position my lollipop, and then I'm putting pressure on my glue dot to hold that in place, so that's not going walkabouts anywhere. Now I need to put my Velcro dots on, and I'm going to put the two fluffy bits, the soft bits, yes, on the inside here. And then I'm going to put the two hooks got stuck to my finger. I'm going to pop that on where it's going to be sticking. These are very sticky. Oh, very, very sticky. It's not a complaint. Right. Now these should stand up by themselves if you position them correctly, which if you make these for doing like a craft show or something, it's great because you can get them all standing up in a line. It's just a question of making sure you get them, the glue dots in the right place. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm standing this up and I'm making sure that that is flat on my desk, and also that this isn't leaning forward. If it's leaning forward, the whole thing's going to tilt back. As it is, the lollipop is actually stuck to the back, so it's got to be at least upright, if not a tad leaning backwards, which I think, if I look sideways, yep, I think that probably looks okay. And then just give that a little bit of a squeeze so it gets a hop. There we go, lovely. And then the last thing I'm going to do is tie a ribbon around the top there, and I'm using our classic weave ribbon in white. This also comes in, I think it's Pool Party and Crumb Cake, because it goes really nicely with the coffee cafe set that we have. Right, so let's take my paper snips. I'm cutting a piece that's about 8 inches long. You could probably get away with something smaller. Right, let's lay that down. Let's pull that tight. In fact, what I'm thinking about doing is, I haven't done it on here. In fact, let me do it on this one so that I can at least show you and test out that it's going to work. I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of the I can say on the back of the lolly stick, but then you won't be able to get the lolly out. No, that won't work, will it? Well, that gives you an insight to how my powers of reasoning work. Right. Sometimes I find that when I do these, it's better if I do the bows upside down, because they seem to twist themselves round to the right way. Although if this doesn't work first time, I have a plan B. Right, come on. I think 8 inches is a bit tight actually. Okay, let's try plan B. This is a variation of the bunny's ears. In fact, have I got that straight? You really don't stand a chance of getting a nice bow if you allow these to fold as you're doing the knot. Okay, so that's all nice and straight, complete circle. Bring that one through and then keep them from twisting. There we go. Now, what I've been doing, experimenting with, is taking 2 bunny's ears, like one there and one there, and then just looping the 2 through, cross them over, and then looping one of them through the gap at the bottom as if you were doing a bunny bow. Oh, I wished I'd cut myself a bigger piece. I might cheat in a minute and take one off of the decent one that I've made and just swap them over. Well, at least this one's going fractionally better. Right. Oh, hold on. Have I got that right now? What I was going to say is I'm going to give up now, because you really don't want to sit there watching me do this. If you check my blog tomorrow when I post this, have a look for the black one, see whether I have actually corrected that or not, or whether it's still looking with a very tatty bow. Trust me, I will redo that. I'd just like to show you the other 2 that I've made. There's this one, which I did with the musical instrument that I think is probably a mandolin, but I could be wrong. Well, probably wrong. And I also did one with the little harp as well. That really is a fabulous set. I love it. Really love it. Anyway, nice easy project for today. I hope you decide to give it a try, and I wish you better luck than me with finding some decent lollipops too. No doubt these chocolate My Little Pony lollipops are absolutely gorgeous. The chocolate, they must be, but they're not really ideal for my Christmas projects here. Anyway, many thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, apart from the lollipops of course, please click on the link that you'll find in the box below. That'll take you straight to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you have any comments or questions to make, please leave those in the box below. And you will also find in the box below all the measurements and the products that I've used and the product codes. Everything will be down there for you. Just click on the second arrow that's on the right hand side and that'll just open it all up for you. And finally, if you've enjoyed my video today, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.